Okay, you're on.
Just let me check one last time. Good morning. This is the Tufton Borough Board of Selectmen's meeting for Monday, December 28th. Before we begin, can we all honor America with a pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I begin, I'd like to just offer our respects. Up in Dalton, New Hampshire, our state trooper is critically wounded in a shootout. We wish all our police and safety people, all our servicemen the best this year. To start, public input. Anybody on the phone?
Nope.
Okay. You all set?
All set, thank you.
Good to see you up and around, gentlemen.
Thank you. Great to be here.
It's a little bit early, but Happy New Year. Let us begin with the meeting minutes of 12/14/2020. I have no issues.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor say yes.
Aye.
Didn't pass, it's 3-0. Next is the work session minutes of 12/21/20. I have no issues.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next is the non-public minutes of 12/21/20. I have no issues.
So we have two sets.
Yep.
I'll move approval of, I'll move approval of non-public.
Is that the one at 11:45 or
Yes.
okay?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. And the second one is what time?
9:05.
There isn't a second
I
one,
don't see the second one.
because it wasn't sealed, and it was the interviews, so if you look, I listed the interviews under non-public in the,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
is that work okay?
Sure. So we've already done that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're a little ahead of schedule. We have 3 departments coming in. Let's go to the red folder, signature file. This is the Roberts and Green contract for our auditors. Have you folks read it?
Yes.
Yeah. I looked over it.
Yep.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Good morning, Chief. Next is the town of Tufton Borough. It's the Charter Communications Spectrum. John Mayer is talking about broadband coverage for Tufton Borough. Have you folks read it?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Just pass that on down to We'll start with our appointments from the fire department. Hi, Chief.
Good morning.
Thank you.
So as of today's date, fire departments responded to 109 fire calls, 190 fire calls, 273 medical calls, 60 service calls, and 9 special details, for a total of 532 for the year. Gas burner inspections, 48, 6 oil burner inspections, 7 water pellet stove inspections, and 27 life safety for a total of 88. Engine 1 was out of service for one night. It was taken to coastal truck in Portsmouth for full alignment, as we had discussed at the last update, and that was on 12/2 of 2020. The cost was $419.55, which was well under the estimated cost of $1,500 if we needed any parts, which we did not. Car 1 had its throttle body replaced at Ed's Auto Repair on 12/15. Cost was $412.58. The vehicle went into reduced power mode after the structure fire on 2 Pine Tree Drive in North Country Village. The department responded to a reported structure fire at 2 Pine Tree Drive in Center Tuftonboro on December 5th, 2020 at 11:58 a.m. 911 advised that smoke and fire was coming from a modular home with an occupant trapped in the residence. On arrival of the first fire units, a neighbor in the park, Rick Sargent, along with a second neighbor, George Storch, had shut the propane off to the residence, which was feeding a wall-mounted propane heater in the area of the fire. Sargent then kicked in a locked door and crawled into the smoke and heat-filled home to pull the residents from the home to safety. The patient was placed in Tuftonboro PD's cruiser until the arrival of Tuftonboro's ambulance. Once the ambulance was on scene, the female was moved to the ambulance and transported to Huggins Hospital for smoke inhalation and minor burns. I believe that Mr. Sargent saved that occupant's life, and as far as there was no working smoke detectors in the property. The fire was extinguished quickly, and the home was not inhabitable due to smoke and fire damage. The cause of the fire appears to be an issue with the propane on the heater. I'd like to remind all townspeople, if assistance is needed with smoke or carbon monoxide detectors, to please call the fire department at 569-3381. We have a program to assist with providing battery-operated detectors if they're needed. When Boat 1, the 27-foot Eastern, was in for fall service, they noticed a considerable internal corrosion at the mid-case extension and top of the lower gear cases. They're questioning stray voltage at the docks for this. The mid cases are starting to perforate. Should be okay for another season, but suggest replacement fall 2021. Current estimate was $7,183.39. This is not a budgeted item for 2021. We have been working to try to get the fire department server replaced before the end of the year. Due to issues beyond our control, we have not been able to do that. The estimates from the town's previous IT company are thousands of dollars lower than the temporary company or the new company that the town has chosen. I do have the 3 estimates. We could purchase the server part of the estimate out of what we have left in the budget. We do have enough money in the budget to purchase that particular piece and possibly do the rest of it out of 2021's budget as far as it goes. And I can leave the estimate. The total estimate for the server was $6,627, and that includes getting the server up and running and in place. And to give you an idea of the difference in estimates, the one from Computer Port, which was our initial IT person, was $3,420. And our temporary computer person was $7,870. So there's quite a difference between the different things that we have budgeted for.
And the $6,000 figure is from who?
Is from Lakes Region Computer LLC, which is our current server person to do the work. The unit itself is $4,099, and then there's some associated parts, and system install would be $1,500. I will give the select board a copy of each of these so that you have it to look at. If we do not purchase the server part of this before the end of the year, then I would suggest encumbering what money we have from the office supply left to go towards that purchase. On December 12th, the fire department has contracted with Lexipol, as Lexipol, for $2,500 to complete a AF Assistant to Firefighter grant for the portable radio section. Those are scheduled to be replaced in 2021, so this coming year, for $120,000. If the fire department is awarded the grant, we would be reimbursed $1,500 of the $2,500. The $2,500 came from the emergency management grant section of the budget. On December 12th, I was contacted by Susan Slack of Lake Region Planning Commission in reference to starting the update of the town's all-hazard mitigation plan. This was put off this year due to the COVID-19, and it's finally getting started again. We will need to have a group of people to meet the soft match side of things. And we do have some money in the emergency management in case we don't have that group of people to meet that soft match of funds that are needed. Most of that plan is paid for by FEMA and the state, but there is a small amount that we have to meet. The department had a failure of one of its oldest thermal imaging cameras at a structure fire, and we were able to replace it with a 2020 demo unit from Northeast Emergency Apparatus for $5,800. The unit is a MSA Evolution 6000 Plus with a balance of a 5-year warranty, so 4 years remain. The last unit that we purchased like this cost us over $12,000. Because of COVID, this unit barely went out into the field because they it went out twice in the field as far as to be demoed. But because of COVID, it really didn't see much demo. So it's basically new. The other units during the fire failed. You really can't have a thermal imager that you're depending on fail during the fire. As you're obviously, one, life safety is depending on it, and the other is that we're looking for fire obviously in the walls and different areas, and this is the unit. You can pass it around and you can see. Our other unit was a 2005, so it has basically met its life expectancy. But with those particular units, we do not replace them until they fail. The Custom Fire Rescue Department, along with Multiple Fire Rescue, West Ospey Fire Rescue, and Alton Fire Rescue, had a successful joint training on 12/12 at Pier 19. We were able to go through all the department's boats to see what they had as far as to offer, and to see the capabilities and work with each other to find our limitations, so that, thank you, sir, if we had a call, we know how each other's boats operate. It was good to see that there are now obviously 4 emergency boats that are in the either in the process of getting up and running or are up and running, and that'll be there for any emergency that might be had during bad ice conditions and water rescue.
A lot of effort there, isn't there? Quite the armada.
Yeah. It's nice to see also that, we've gone from 2 boats to 4 in the area between Carroll County and the Lake region. Do you have any further questions, or do you have anything? Okay.
Gentlemen? Any questions or comments for the chief?
I'm good. Is that the only encumbrance we need to do for you?
So I have not had a chance to see what we have left in the boat budget, but I'm sure that it's not $7,000
No.
as far as it goes.
Well, you've got $61,000, almost $62,000 in your whole budget.
Okay.
But so none of your lines will accommodate
Anything like that.
individual items like the computer or the boat.
Yep.
But I don't think that precludes us from making some.
Right. So how much of that $62,000 have you already committed?
I can give you I know that there are a few items, obviously, the replacement of this, which would be $5,800, and there are a couple other items that we still have to pay for. As far as, usually as far as like generator maintenance and things like that, for the central station, it was usually in the past for like $1,800. I was able to get a contract in place with generator connection for $440 for that unit, so that's quite a savings with that particular thing. So there are some stray bills that are still out there. So without seeing a breakdown of what I have left currently, I'm pretty sure that we obviously don't have $61,000 stuff that's committed out.
Right, right.
So I make a
So a
suggestion?
certain amount of that is gonna be available to us to encumber.
If you look at-
We're just trying to get it, I'm trying to get a sense, I think you are too,
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
if you have some big chunks out there, that are gonna,
And you have 4 lines that, I don't know that, I mean, I'll just go through them. Dues and subscriptions, you've got $2,800.
Yeah.
Training, you got $6,100. Dry hydrants, you got $3,000, and new equipment, you got $1,600. So $12,000,
Right.
$13,000 in those 4 items,
Mhm.
which, in my limited ability to calculate, I think would handle your boat and your computer.
Right. I know
Are
that
those-
out of those 4 lines, there is some stuff that is still out there for those, like dry hydrants. We
Okay.
we have some parts that are on order
Okay.
for that. But as I said, as far as office,
you got
that
$4,600 left in there.
yeah, that is what, that is available. We have nothing that,
What line is it now?
office,
Office?
This office lines, you got $4,600 in there. You got almost 7,000 in vehicle maintenance. I don't know if all the bills were in or if there's,
there is 2
Okay.
bills, I believe, that are outstanding with that. One is probably, about $2,000. So, plus or minus with.
So the total of the boat and the server, what's? how much is-
Server is, everything for the server is $6,627.
And the boat?
7183, right? $7,200.
The vote was 7183.39.
Okay.
So you could buy the,
So you need $13,800. I'm sorry.
not if he buys a server right now, that's $4,099. He won't have to encumber it, right? Because you said you
Right.
could get that right away.
Can you actually get it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yes. They will give me a bill and order that unit.
And if we were to encumber the boat money, can they get that repair done this winter?
Yes. Usually they, and I don't know how it works, but usually for wintertime work, they give you a reduced rate for some of the stuff, but I don't know if that would count in this particular case.
Would the fellow board members have an issue with encumbering $8,000 for boat repairs? What if they get in there and find a loose washer or something like that?
Well, you know how it works. We have to have a contract.
Right.
So
Yep.
I'm going to suggest we encumber this amount. If there's something more than that, well, it comes out of the
Yeah,
budget.
then we worry about it out of
Right.
next year's
But-
budget.
And if it becomes $15,000, then we have another conversation. Probably looking for someplace to pull money from. But that's when
Do
we
you
get it.
wanna make that an motion?
So I will move that we encumber the money necessary to do the repairs on the mid cases of the 2 motors, right? $7,184.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Is that enough, Chief?
Yes.
Are we ready to vote on this, gentlemen? All those in favor of the stated motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
And as far as with that, the repairs, do you want to see them take place in the fall of 2021, or
Well, if
to
you can get it done before
get
the
them
season.
done as soon as possible?
I mean, if they can get
You
it
got-
done before the season.
Doesn't it make sense to go ahead and get them done this winter?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, when it's down.
You think
Yep.
it's okay for another season, but in the middle of the season, if we got a problem, then we're hitting
Right.
ourselves in the head saying we should have gone ahead and take care of it, yeah.
Right.
I
And
understand.
the boat's out of the water, so it's
Yeah.
perfect time.
Okay. And give the copy of this to Kathy.
I will go over the list of encumbrances.
Of requests.
Were there any other fire requests?
No, I don't believe we had anything else from.
No, that, the boat thing was totally unexpected as far as that goes, and the server we had been working on for quite some time, and we're expecting that.
Yeah.
He came right out, huh?
Yes, he took care of it the same day he contacted us, and the next day, we had got that estimate for them.
Okay, so we want to move on to improvements?
Can I ask a couple of questions about your report?
Sure.
First of all, nice job. Not to rush it, but Happy New Year. Just a financial thing. When you get the grant to reimburse you, does that go into the general fund or can that go into the fire department?
No, that goes back to the general fund.
Okay. The other thing is, you had two citizens who stepped up and probably made a difference. Would you support the selectmen sending each of them a letter?
I would. I think that they made a difference in that person's life, saved that person's life before we got there. Because that person would have still been in the, smoke-filled environment and probably would have stopped breathing if they had not taken her out.
Good. If Kathy needs a name or address, can you help her out on that?
We'll get all that information.
Well, thank you to your men and women, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you had some questions?
Yeah, just on the buildings budget.
Yeah.
From the buildings. I was a little confused because I didn't see the number anywhere. In the notes, I'll get to it in a second. You've got Melvin and Mirror Lake stations, government buildings, 27,139.
Okay.
4194, 3444. I'm just showing on the request line here, 13,953. So we're changing that?
I do not have the improvement stuff or my budget with me. It wasn't something I knew that I should have figured that you might want to go over that.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one.
Improvements line. So I'm showing in the initial budget request that's dated 12/21, fire station improvements of 13,953.
Okay.
But then I'm looking at this extended note here. And it says budget request 2021, 27,139. And you did a pretty good job of listing what it is you were gonna do with all that money. But I couldn't make it add up. Am I making a mistake?
Without seeing what I had for backup information, the only thing that I'm wondering
On the
is
next
that,
If you
It's
look
on the next page. He's got seal coating and crack filling.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out why we've got two
I
numbers.
think that there was, if you look at the different things, there's a central station improvement.
The 27 includes utilities.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna make myself clear.
Yep,
This page that we
Right.
have generated
yep,
has a request of 13,000.
yes.
Are we now requesting?
Which is the same as this top line up here. He put the utilities in there as well, and when you add all that, it comes at 27,000. See, if you look at the fire station improvements, 13,953,
Okay,
that's,
Yeah, because
That's
one of my pages has a
All right,
breakdown
no,
of each of the.
I was just being stupid, it's Monday.
No,
I get to be a little stupid on Monday, I think.
yeah, so, yeah, you got the detail on here.
All right, thanks.
$6,500 to replace the furnace at Melvin, $4,000 for interior painting, and the balance is for
Yeah,
parking lot work at Melvin and Maryland.
right, got it. And we're still having to, my next question was, we're still having to spend big money on the furnace at the
Central Station?
central station?
Right now, fingers crossed that they've got them running. And I am not gonna do budget for anything, further than maintenance. We did get an estimate, obviously, to replace the two. It was $20,000. We are going to replace the vents, because they are deteriorating. And that was something in the new code, NFPA codes that are coming out, that initially the PVC piping that was used in the venting was okay, but they found that over a period of time that the heat from them deteriorates them. So they have come out with a new product, obviously, to do that. One thing that we also noted was that with the 2 units where they take in the fresh air in the double into the pipe area, that the bad air may be coming in from one side and sucking it into the other, which is affecting the furnace unit. So that is going to be changed so that that does not happen in the future. But as long as this new company that we have can keep them operating efficiently and no major repairs, then we're going to stay status quo with that. If you're okay with.
And the central station maintenance number, because that went up $3,000 or $4,000. Was that the striping? Improvements, 10,000 to 10. Look at that. Yeah, all I have for a sheet on the central station maintenance is $21,312.
There should have been backup with that.
Chip,
I'm sorry. There, that's not what I had. So are you gonna be, I guess this is where I must have it somewhere in my notes here. $8,000 for furnace and AC main repair to include ENE, PMI main, contract spring and fall. So we're still spending $8,000 a year repairing that furnace?
That's not completely repair. We
Or is that 8,000 just normal yearly maintenance?
correct. Correct. We spent far more than, as far as repairs and things like
So
that.
in
But
addition to fuel, we're spending $8,000 a year just to maintain it then?
as far as the whole system, that the major PMI, our AC, furnace,
Yeah.
and everything else that is associated with the system. So if you have
So-
a failure of one of the circulating pumps,
Yeah.
that could cost $2,000 by itself.
So a lot of this is just.
Everyday stuff as far as if something goes bad, type of thing. We had obviously more failures last year with with a heating system that cost us quite a bit of money. I'm hoping that we have it in the under control now that we don't. But unfortunately, with anything in today's day and age, anything that you have for parts costs a tremendous amount of money. We have multiple circulator pumps that are there. We do have, we try to keep one in backup in case something fails. And we have used that in the past as far as it goes. But you can't keep one of everything in most cases. So we do what we can with that. But right now, things have been running really good with the units. But I obviously have to look at budgeting the different items from what I have seen in the past and think that is what's going to happen or fail. So we did go up in that line slightly.
Yeah, it went up substantially. I guess that's the whole budget for buildings, and it's not just you, obviously, went up $27,000. And the one line that sticks out, now that I'm not being as stupid as I was originally, is that maintenance line, which went up $4,000.
Right, which I have added for any suspected issues that we will see, and whatever breakdown that you have there for support information. And if that doesn't, if you do not have the support information completely, I will get a copy to Kathy. But I did break down the central station maintenance completely with that.
Yeah, I don't have a historical on this, but you overspent this year's budget by $2,000 on that line. So, I mean, it could be, that would bring that line up realistically to $19,500.
Right. And if you look at fire station improvement,
Yeah.
you'll see that a lot of the repairs for the furnace and things like that came out of that line instead of the seal coating and all of that. So there's thousands
You
of
overspent
dollars.
the improvements line too.
Yeah,
So I see where you're going. So I'm just trying to, I have to justify, I think it's
Sure.
tomorrow night, I have to justify this for the budget committee.
okay. So we're going over government buildings tomorrow night?
I don't know that, I mean, we'll supply them with this budget this afternoon. And I guess it's up to them. Maybe we should get a hold of
Are
them.
they really meeting this week? I don't think they're meeting again till January.
Oh, I thought they were meeting this week.
No, January 5th, I thought.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, the next meeting would be the meeting to go over this.
Because I would really like to be there to
I'd really
go
love to
through
have you
that.
there.
So I do have a question regarding central station improvements, which you have requested 8439. That line does not show up that I can find in Diane's worksheet here. There is no 419404-730.
improvements.
Right.
I think 419403.
04, 4194, 04, 730.
I don't see it either.
Looks like a new, perhaps
That's
a new
one
line.
that I have in place. I do not believe that there was ever anything put in it.
Gross number, I'm sorry.
8439, so whatever we're looking at
Yeah.
on all these other lines, there's 8439, it's not included in.
It's not jumping out.
Yeah,
We got 13953 on,
That's on 03, 730.
right.
But there, she doesn't even have 04, 730 listed. So if it's a line that you haven't used in the past, then just, that's why it's not showing up and she didn't catch and insert it.
But it is a line that is part of my layout as far
Or
as
chart of accounts.
budget wise.
Yeah,
I've tried to separate out, because obviously everything has been taken out of the, what was called the fire station improvement, which was for Melvin and Mirror Lake. And added in there. I tried to separate that out so it had a better,
I mean, I've got this piece, but it's the last line there, but it doesn't give us a,
yeah, but
doesn't give us a
I'm looking at
breakdown.
Diane's sheets. She
Okay.
didn't, she did not include the 8439 anywhere in the government buildings budget. So, and where that line should be, there is no line. So.
Is the total, I guess, is, what is this number? 46,961. No, that's not it.
Right. So, it's this whole
Yeah.
detail that didn't get included in her worksheet here.
So, what do we want to do?
Well, if we're gonna work it today, we just need to make sure we add it in.
So
And
what you're suggesting is we need to add 8430 into the government.
we need to add that line in, 4194, 04, 730. And the department head's request is for $8,439.
So, and that was
What's the
80.
title of that?
Huh?
What is that title of that normally?
It's called Central Station Improvements.
Okay, and that's
Just so
eight-
I can tell.
Yep,
What was the number again?
$8,439.
I don't even see that under her expenditures for that.
So,
She had given you a sheet of everything that's been expended this year.
Well, yeah, she just said, it's a line he has in his chart
Hasn't
of
used
accounts,
in the
but it's
past.
not, but he hasn't used it in the
Right.
past. He hasn't needed to do
it's
it.
been there,
Uh-huh.
but there was no money that was
So there's-
allocated
Right.
with it.
and there's no duplicate, see, we don't have a breakdown of what is in that.
There was nothing, there was
No,
nothing.
no, no, what your expected expenses are.
Oh, okay.
You've never spent anything there, right?
Yeah, we never spent anything from
But
that.
I just don't, I don't want any duplication with, let's say, fire department maintenance line or whatever
Yep.
other lines it might be. Because that pushes the buildings line to 164,725.
And I can go back and look at that to make sure that there's no duplication with that. But I know that particular line item had never been used in the past, but I think it's a good idea to keep the building separated.
Okay.
And I can get back to you to let you know, make sure that there is no.
We've got to go through the whole thing, and it isn't all fire department.
No.
So I'll just keep that note handy.
Yep.
And we'll move on.
What we have to wrestle with here is the request for this year, for 2021, for the whole buildings, all the buildings, is going up $36,000, from 128 to 164. So,
And there's currently $31,000 left in the buildings budget from 2020.
right.
So now we have to, we've
Figure out.
underspent 2020, and now we want to jack 2021 up by $36,000.
Yeah. Well, and part of what we do with, we've got some projects that we can encumber money from this year to do to help us out a little bit, I think. But at first blush, everybody's got stuff, and I think that the new central station is 5 years old, 6 years old,
Yeah, it was, we started in 2013.
7 years old. Okay, so we're now about to the point where some improvements need to be done beyond just the routine maintenance, and that makes sense.
And as far as, obviously as far as the full parking lot things, those are items that are out there. Obviously it's great to have it get done, to keep it from deteriorating any further. But that's not like a furnace item that needs to be done because something is depending on it as far as it goes. So that's understandable as far as if something has to come out of that because there's so much going on.
Yeah. I guess it's a discussion for another time. What are the parking lots that we deal with, whether it's there, or the transfer station, or the town office, is the fire chief's business, or whether it's the road agent's business, or whether it's, do we seal code everything, to get into a schedule of doing things, or how? I mean, it seems like we break everything into these little components, and maybe we should consolidate.
I think
I don't know, just,
it's gone full circle.
Yeah.
Buildings were consolidated.
yeah.
Everything was consolidated for stuff, and then it went back into everyone's budget. Everyone managed their own things. And now, we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of the whole budget, I was just thinking of certain elements.
No, but you're speaking of the buildings.
Yes.
The
Yeah, the government
facilities
buildings.
It's
itself.
sort of like the IT, do we, at some point in time, make an IT budget? So that we've got the aging going on, we've got,
Like we did with the generators. We made it global. Yep.
it's just a concept that we need to discuss sometime, it doesn't have to be today, obviously.
And obviously, the road agent would know better as far as paving and all that stuff, as far as the parking lots and.
Well, I think you're right, though, that, I mean, we may want to, I have no idea what the warrant's going to look like this year, but we may want to start putting a warrant article together that's just factoring in 10 years worth of age on the fire department. Let's start putting 20,000, 30, or 50,000 bucks away to clean their, I mean, the doors are going to need replacement at some point.
Well, we've already replaced the hinges on the front door.
Yeah.
in
No, I'm thinking the overhead doors. I mean,
Yeah.
They'll last forever.
Right, exactly.
20 years is certainly.
We've had some failure as far as on the openers and things like that. And they are the openers that the building have are specific to a company, and not everyone can work on them. So that's stuff that you look at as you go along.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. And I'll get back to you to make sure that there's no duplication between the central station and then the regular building improvements.
So you're gonna stop and see Diane?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Come on down, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
You see activity is, car stops are up. Some of the categories are a little bit down from last year, or almost the same. The last couple of months have been kind of challenging because we've had some people that have had to take some time off, or be away from the workplace.
Is this activity through October or November?
November. Oops, I did put it at the top for November 30th. Missed it in one spot. Finally, I was able to get the other cruiser pretty much done. It's got a couple, it's back, it's done, it's being used. We have to still get some stuff set up in it, but minor things. Video system needs to be programmed with cars, and the video system works, it records, but it doesn't categorize things. It doesn't say what car it's in, it doesn't have officer names in it, so that has to be, that's something we have to dump in. And the MDT has to be set up, which should be done hopefully today. And just been busy. Earlier in the month was pretty busy with the, like I said, some shortages of staff. And now I'm trying to get some stuff done for the end of the year. I still have a few things to get done that are required to turn into the state. So that's what I've been working on. Been finishing up our annual training requirements. Again, that was hindered by the people being out. And so we've been working on getting that done and getting a few other things that to be reported into the state. We have to certify the agency, the Police Standards and Training Council. So I'm working on getting that letter and documentation to them. So, sure, what's been going on?
So on the calls for services,
Yep.
can you describe what that is?
That could be somebody calling for example, it could be somebody calling up saying, what are the pistol laws for the state of New Hampshire, or it could be an accident, or it could be, it's just anything where they put a call into us, or to dispatch for it that we have to call them or deal with.
So that's averaging 16 a day, calls for services.
Yeah.
So have we replaced our executive secretary?
Not yet.
How's that going?
I haven't had a chance to do anything because I was it for a little while and I'm still trying to catch up.
You were what, for a while?
I was it, I was the only officer for a week.
Oh, okay.
So I was answering calls, trying to do other stuff. We do have someone in mind. We'll have to probably meet in non-public to discuss it at some point.
Let's see if we can do that. Do you have your officers back now, or are they still?
Yeah, everybody's back finally.
So maybe we could get after that for the rest of the month. I mean, I don't think the situation's gonna get any better without some help in the office.
No, I agree.
Especially if you get 16 calls for service every day. And I'm sure it's more on some days and less than that.
It's more, and some of those, it kind of depends on how they get logged.
Yeah.
So in other words, sometimes they get, if dispatch takes the call and takes follow-up calls, it may be all in one call. If they take a call and we take a call, it might show up in two separate calls. So,
But every one of those calls,
Takes time.
it involves time on the part of you or one of your officers, right?
yeah, sometimes it can be simply, like I had one last week, somebody called up, they had some questions about outside burning. Okay, there's a number for the fire department. But then we have the others where, like, last night.
Those kinds of things are things that are easy for an administrative person
Absolutely.
to handle.
Absolutely. Pistol
So I
permits,
think-
a lot of those questions.
I think where Chip is going is the sooner you can get that position filled, will help you out in terms of freeing up you or your officers from having to deal with every single call that comes in.
Definitely.
And I'm sure you have better things to do.
Absolutely. Then there's some of these I'm behind in some of that stuff, that's, copies of reports that somebody would like a copy of because of that. But that's what, that's just a good
And while we have you here, are you gonna encumber anything for the police
I
department?
sent something to you last week, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I gave you copies of it. I did.
You know me, I covered them all.
I think the body armor outlet one is all set, because I already submitted that to be paid. I see I had a little typo on the SBM electronics, that should be a period between the 6 and the 1.
You guys look under there might be some additional copies in the action folder.
You want my copy? You got
I
Oh,
did.
got Kathy's.
Need a copy of it?
All right.
So as of Wednesday,
Yeah.
your total budget had 50 grand left.
But,
Okay, now, some of that, I know, there's ongoing, salary and that sort of thing gonna be charged against.
as
I
of
don't-
last Thursday, you said?
As of the 23rd, which was the last check run.
Yeah.
So, are you aware of any significant outstanding purchases? Something you ordered that hasn't arrived, hasn't been billed?
Nothing, if it is, it's not even like $1,000, it's that. I mean, there's obviously gonna be a few other bills in there too, like
Right.
fuel, and we'll have one more month of fuel. Not sure if that would include,
Right.
usually our telephone comes in around the 23rd, so I'm not sure if that's in there or not. So,
Those are small bills.
yeah, we're probably talking,
But for instance, in your new equipment line,
yeah,
you have a little less than $20,000 left this year.
and that's, well, so I had in there for 3 MDTs, one of which is in the new vehicle, so it was put on the warrant article.
Right.
So that went over, but that's why, one of the reasons it went over is because that's in there.
Right.
And then I've got on this memo here for 2 more NDTs. The other 2. That was for, the big chunk was for 3, plus for e-ticketing, and I'm not doing e-ticketing yet. I'm still dealing with grant stuff on that.
So the SBM, let's go through the stuff.
Okay.
SBM electronics transcription system,
Yep.
do we have that currently?
No, that was in next year's budget that you told me to take out and do it this year for your money.
Okay, we might-
Has it been ordered?
No, it has not, because I was waiting for this. I
Motorola,
have a quote that I can do a purchase order and get it bound. So I do have a quote.
Motorola Solutions radio,
I did order that,
okay,
because
that's ordered.
our thing is toast, our radio and the PD is toast.
That's the internal radio in the station,
Yes,
okay. Central Square IMC upgrade,
that was, part of that was in next year's budget, and part of it was for the MDT that we got this year. That, I've already signed back on that, that's on, in fact, hopefully it's done
so
today.
that's coming.
Should be done today, yeah. In fact, I should have had the invoice by now.
Okay, body armor outlet plates,
Ordered, and I submitted it to Diane for payment.
patrol IPC.
That's the 2 I was talking about, under new equipment in 2020 that's
What is that for?
That's the computers in the cruiser, the mounting, installation, gives us the, so I had another vendor come last Monday, and they thought they'd be a lot cheaper. They ended up being a little bit higher when it was all said and done. I'm like, how'd that work? But so like the computer's like, it's ruggedized, tablet, touchscreen. So that's about $3,500 to $4,000. And the rest of it's the mounts, the keyboard, the cellular radio, the installation. It all cracks up to what you see there.
Is this for just one cruiser?
It's 2.
Two?
2, yeah. So out of that list, the 2 I have not gotten back to confirm was Patrol PC and SBM Electronics.
I don't know. I guess we have 2 ways we could go. One is to do the $12,000 next year, and we could create a $12,000 warrant article. The other is to overspend the police budget by $5,000, because we still have a week's worth of payroll, I think, to plug into this. If we take the $12,000 out, you get $38,000 left in the budget, and you paid for the stuff that he's already bought without any money, it's like my granddaughter. So we can cover all of our expenses, but we can't do the $12,000.
$12,000 for?
The armored computer tablet things. The last item on his list was patrol IPC MDTs, $12,815. So of the $51,299 that he's trying to encumber or use, $12,000 of that's pushing us over the top. Because I mean, initially pointed out the most important piece, which is he only has $50,000 left.
Right.
50,000 left. Our payroll on a week is about 5,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, plus whatever. Well, yeah.
Well,
But then you got what's 12 from 50, $39,000 worth of stuff you already bought. You just listed for me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You got 2,296 in electronics transcription, 22.
I didn't order that yet.
Okay, we got
2,500.
2,200.
That's screw up. That's $2,498.
Okay, so The Motorola, the Central Square IMC, the body armor,
That's six,
those
that's
are all,
about $8,000
they're
still.
all ordered.
Yep.
Right. And you want, you don't have the transcription anywhere in the budget other than right here.
That's
Because we
correct.
took it out of the 2021 budget, as I remember.
Yep,
So my point is that between the payroll and the other ancillary stuff that you're gonna spend money on in the next 4 days, and this equipment, if you do the 12 grand, you're gonna push yourself way into the negative. Whereas if we take the 12 grand out of this and put it somewhere else, because you're not gonna buy it today, right, the Motorola business?
the Motorola radio?
No, I'm sorry, not the Motorola, the
Tablets.
tablets. Patrol IPC MDTs. The last item, the 2 pieces for 2 different cruisers. You can buy those next month and you'd be in no worse shape than you are today.
The computers, the MDTs?
Yeah.
I don't know what the prices will be next year, but
I don't know
I'd assume it'd be
what the
something
prices
like that.
I'm not worried about the price so much as I am serviceability. I mean, can you fight crime in the street without them or with what you have?
So what we have, Tom Albert had suggested we replace in 2021. So, now, in talking with John Rich, he wasn't so sure that necessarily had to be, the software we use is not real intensive of resources. The bigger part is security. Could we update the operating system to make sure it's secure? That's the bigger part of it. You know, can't keep running Windows, 95, or it's not Windows 7, Windows 8. Can't keep running it forever, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to support it with patches. But Tom Albert had recommended be replaced in 2021. So,
Let's make sure this is added up right.
huh?
I'm just talking to myself, I apologize.
So the 3 things that, I calculate the 3 things on here that I've already committed to is $7,500.
And maybe this 51,299, I'm doing the math right now to see if that's the correct number. Because I think it might be
Even
high.
if,
I bet $9,500 for that initial four pieces, plus 12,800.
I didn't include the transcription thing, because I haven't committed 100% to that, so that's where I was coming up with $7,500, $8,000.
Okay. If we add up the SBM, I guess this 51,299 doesn't work. The SBM electronics transcription system at 2,296 is at $2,296.
Yep, that's supposed to be a decimal.
Motorola Solutions Radio at $2,498.
Yes,
The Central Square IMC upgrade at $3,245.
yep. And what I did attach in the back was
The body armor at $1,444.
yep,
That's $9,513. If you add the $12,815 to that, it's 828. It's $22,328. And if we add the $9,000 MBT that came in,
the
I don't know
what?
what that means. What is the $9,000 figure?
That was So on the patrol PC MDTs, I'm saying I had another vendor coming, so I might have been coming in with a cheaper price, but he turned out to have a higher price. So that's
That's just a,
that's an or, so put like an or between the two.
so it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, he came out higher after
Okay.
all.
So once again, I have to apologize for not adding the figures up before I use the ones I have. But if we look at this sheet,
Yeah.
it originally said 51,299. That isn't the number. All of these items add up to $22,328.
Which is within what's available.
Yeah, and I still got $30,000 left, $28,000 left.
Like I said, I was hoping this guy he promised, salesman says it's gonna be about 1,500 piece flats. Like, yeah, sounds good. But then when he actually sent me the quote, I was like, how'd that come up higher?
I believe so.
So,
So do we have to take any action at all?
If the stuff is ordered,
It's too late.
huh?
Well, I don't, oh, yeah.
If this stuff is ordered now,
We aren't gonna be able to pay for it until after the first.
right, but it'll be as long as it comes in during the 13th period, you
Yeah.
can go charge against it. If there's a chance that some of this stuff, we're not gonna order it between now and Thursday, then we need to encumber that money so that we can,
and I think the 1,400's already been paid out. I think-
Okay,
So-
let's not get confused with
Okay.
history. What are you gonna get done between now and Thursday?
The only two left to order, if you will, is the SBM electronics and the patrol PC. Central Square is supposed to send me an invoice before the new year anyways, because it's being done today.
Okay.
Motorola, I've ordered it, I don't know how long it's gonna take for the computer, it's computer, but for radio. Comes in, that I ordered a little while ago. So the two I have to do that are up in the air, if you will, are the Control PC, SBM, those two.
and what's the total amount of those two?
That would be,
The patrol IPCs are $12,815.
yeah,
And what's the other one?
$2,296.10.
2,296?
$2,296.10, yes.
Don't worry about the pennies.
So $15,112.
So I move that we encumber $15,112 for those two items.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes
And you can
3-0.
go ahead and order, but if you don't get them ordered by Thursday, then we've got the money available. So if you go ahead and order them now, that's great.
Yeah. Okay.
No harm, no foul. It just, then if you get in the squeeze between now and Thursday, we're not beyond our authority to spend the money.
Right.
Plus it makes it a whole lot more confusing for all the people that are gonna watch this on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and I apologize for the confusion, I was just doing it wrong number for a while there.
No, I was wondering how it came over, but I wasn't gonna question it, because, I mean, you have more information in front of you than I do.
I have too much information, that's the problem.
I have one thing, change the subject.
Yeah.
Could I, as a selectman, as nicely and professionally as possible, ask you to please submit the job performance review paperwork?
I will.
I understand the situation, but I want to.
I am kind of crushed right now to get some stuff done before the end of the year finish our training and but I will get that done.
I think Chief is here, we voted on the vacation extension last time, did we not?
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
So you're aware of that?
I was aware of that.
Yeah.
So I've informed people of that, and I also told them that personnel can't carry over. There's two people that he had a few hours they need to deal with, but we're dealing with that. That will work out. thank you for that.
Be safe.
And I don't know if Adam had mentioned it or not, but they're starting the vaccine rollout very soon for first responders. So maybe the only concern I had, there were two concerns I had with that. One hasn't been answered yet. One is about 15 to 16%, maybe even up to 20% of the people that get the vaccine may experience side effects enough that they might not be able to work the following day or the day after. So what is suggested by the state is that we try and stagger people when they get the vaccination, so we're not like we were earlier this month. But we have some people, it's voluntary, so we have some people that may not elect to do it anyways.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Really? See, I thought we were an intelligent community. I really did.
Well, I mean, one of the concerns that I've raised a couple times on these conference calls and that we've had is, well, here's one of the things. If there's a side effect to it that we get, we're not covered by workers' comp. Yet we are covered by workers' comp if we contract COVID, because it's presumed that we get it through our workplace. So it's kind of an ironic thing that, so if you get it, you're covered, but if you get the vaccine and have a side effect, you're not covered. So, or you may not be covered. And
So
then
what's the financial impact of that?
From
It's
the-
really not death, but what is the financial impact of not getting workers' comp for a side effect that may last for 2 or 3 days?
Well, there's some people that may have more. You know, some people have had anaphylactic reactions and had to be.
But an anaphylactic shock doesn't last for months. It lasts for a day.
That's true.
And if you die, you get life insurance. I mean, I'm really not seeing the benefit, and I certainly see the detriment of our police officers not getting the
I
vaccination.
don't disagree. I signed up to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the weighing it out, but there is, I think, some apprehension that this is a new style of vaccine. We've never had a vaccine that uses messenger RNA. The science we don't have a long, but it affects 20 years down the road.
I mean, far better to have a vaccine made from rotten eggs.
Have what?
Have a vaccine made from rotten eggs.
Well,
I mean, that's essentially what you're choosing, whether you're choosing science or whether you're choosing some sort of historical precedent.
I think,
Anyway, we don't
Yeah.
need to
so anyway, we'll be starting soon in the area. They're gonna have a fixed site, 13 fixed sites, one of them being Tamworth, and they go through the priority list. So,
Well, as one selectman, if you've got an officer that doesn't want to take vaccine or get the vaccine, then we need to hopefully get somebody who needs the vaccine shot up. So find some 80-year-old in the town that needs it. So just,
Are we all set?
yeah. that's
Okay, thank you, sir.
all right,
Be safe. Happy
it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and happy election.
Yes, happy holidays, hope you're all had a wonderful Christmas. I'll share one story with you, if you don't mind. You guys have been talking numbers, so I just want to give you a little break. But Christmas Eve day, my wife set up a scavenger hunt for me, which was pretty neat. Go to this business, go to this, littles, the whole thing, right? The last part of it, I had to put a mask on, and she drove, so we changed seats. And we drive, we pull in, she says, take your mask off. I took my mask off, she goes, welcome to Indian Mound, you're now a member.
Welcome to there.
Indian Mound.
Nice.
Ah,
So I mean,
Did you buy you some golf clubs?
I have good clubs, so. I mean, it wrecked my life because I come up here to watch my grandkids and play golf, and I watch my grandkids.
Good for you.
Anyway, so that was a nice surprise. We've been married 48 years, and she's had a couple of those type of things, so maybe that's why we've been married so long. You know, I don't know. Anyway, I don't have a whole lot to report on. Parks and Rec Director, I was here to run programs, and it's like I'm handcuffed now, you know, and everyone is, I know that, and it's somewhat frustrating, you know, I'm used to running boom, 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 program after program, and,
Well, you know, you and I had a conversation about this, and it kind of gave you a break to get the grass planted and
yeah, you know, we've been
things
doing,
painted and.
yeah, we've been doing other things, you know, I've been hounding the principal up there, as soon as that gym opens up, I wanna get in there. But anyway, some of the other things, of course, the fence has been done, the cut through, again, Lloyd, it was great to have your help with that. I'm not totally sure when the lake is frozen and when they'll start using it,
I
but
apologize for, I got 2 loads of brush and then had my accident, so I apologize.
yeah.
So, you got your container?
The container is here. You know, we've had some weather, so I haven't really had time to move up stuff into that container. But the guys up at that, they were fantastic. You know, we went out and we bought some 4x4s. It's in a nice situation, nice level spot, easy to get to. We can get there even though the place, the fence is locked up. So between Clay and his two partners, I just want to go on record and say thank you guys. You did a great job with that. You know, doing other things. We've been booking the concerts. We've got them half booked. We've been working on the WSIs with the 2 lifeguards. I've been in touch with the company in Wolfboro with the signage, trying to get that sign on the other side of the 19 Mile Beach, working on lighting. We did have a Zoom meeting with Christine Collins, the Recreation Director from Wolfboro, and of course I thanked her for, you know, adjusting the bill and talked about the future. And the one thing I did know is that our billing goes from April to April. So we're covered until this coming April, and that's when our billing goes. I said, Christine, you know, we don't mind paying, and it's a great service to our residents. And Brandon, our commission chairman, was in the Zoom meeting with me. I said, but the figure of 17,000, whatever it is, I says, you know, if it's $50 for a pass and the non-resident pays $80, we'd like to pay that $30 difference. And that's what, you know, the commission has talked about. And she said, you can't do that. It'd be too much work. They're not set up to do that. So we got till April to decide what we want to do. Whether we reimburse ourselves or we just go the way it's been going. And to be honest with you, I don't, you know, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's a good chunk of our budget, but it's certainly I'd like to take $5,000 and go out and buy a big screen blow-up thing and have summer movies once a week like we do summer concerts. But you know, again, that's something you guys should probably have some input on what we want to, you know, do come April with the payment to Wolfboro. Outside of that, we got a January brainstorming session with our commissioners and trying to invite some parents. We did that in the spring, and it really helped out with the summer thing. Again, my mind is filled with programs, but we're just hopefully this, you know, vaccine can get us back on track as soon as we can. But it's somewhat frustrating, you know.
Is the school still doing the ski program?
The what's?
Is the school doing a ski program this winter?
I don't have any.
Skiing.
Skiing.
Are they snow skiing? The school,
The ski, I'm not sure of the school, do they?
Because I know last year we provided, or your committee provided some funds for kids that needed skis or whatever.
Yeah.
And also the skating program that was going on down at
You
the,
saying our town provided funds for skiing?
Yes.
yeah.
I thought we couldn't do that though, because remember we gave a donation last year and that was wrong? We gave $1,000.
On Wednesdays, for a number of decades, kids can, on Wednesdays, can either go skiing
Yeah,
or skating.
from the central school?
Yes, from all the schools.
Wow.
But Central School's the important one to us.
So you can, your Parks and Rec fund, you can use that for program expenses. What you can't do is you can't take that and donate to somebody's scholarship fund.
Right, we talked about that last year.
Right, so
So if there's
as long as as long as there's a tie between Parks and Rec activity and the expense, that's great.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we want to use it for scholarship for people to do recreational activities, to participate in recreational programs, that's
That's okay.
sure. But you can't give it to the school to use in their general scholarship program.
Okay.
But the school will tell you, I mean, if they have kids sign up, and they have a kid sign up that needs skis, they can let you know, just, you need to get into a conversation.
All right, I didn't know that,
The
okay.
town will provide that portion of what their need is.
Okay. You know, we did join that New Hampshire Recreation and Parks, and I mean, it's a pretty good site. We're an associate member. I think it only cost us $50, but a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of training, a lot of opportunities, so I think it's good we joined that group, so. Outside of that, that's it. Any questions?
How's it going with the snowmobile club?
You know, a couple emails back and forth. I don't know if they got clearance yet to do that crossover from the road.
I know they have a request in last year that was put on hold.
Yeah.
See what, thank you for working on that. The other thing is, you had me haul off 2 broken picnic benches.
Yeah,
Are you planning on replacing them?
yes.
And there's money,
They're expensive, I'm telling you.
there's money in your budget?
It is, yeah.
I noticed in the paper there was an organization that built 2 of them.
I saw that,
For
you said
$500.
down in Wolfboro, they built 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
The other place you can get them is the state prison. So you might want to contact them. That's a pretty reasonable place to buy things like that.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Prison industry, the state
State
penitentiary.
prison down in Concord.
Yeah,
They have
oh, okay.
a- They have a wood shop.
I mean, you go online and look at benches, you can get them for $100, you can get them for $1,200, you know, I mean.
Well, you don't want a $100 one.
Yeah.
A $100 one for your backyard might be fine, but for
Every year for 12 years. you spend that.
yeah, right, yeah. So that's a good idea though, the state prison. Take a look.
So I
at
think between some of the stuff that's stored behind our shed down at 19 Mile Bay, some of the stuff that's down the cellar at the town offices, that'll all be gone, so they'll open up that. So, I mean, it's a used trailer, but it's big. I mean, it's 9 feet tall by what, 40 or 45 feet? Yeah, so.
I had another question.
Go ahead.
How much does it cost the town for the porta potties? Is it $3,000 a year?
Yeah, I don't have the budget in front of me, I think so, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, what was that lady?
Has nothing to do with your facilities, not the criticism. There's a place in town, I've been asked, does it make
Yeah.
sense for the town to put them? So I was just getting a price.
Okay. Bill and I talked about that a little bit, and I think we're gonna stay with that company. The
Yeah.
service has been great,
Body control.
yeah, so,
Thank you.
yeah. All right, gentlemen, happy New Year.
So one final question.
Yeah.
Your budget's got a little over 24,000 left in it this year. And
Less.
Left, right. And we know, for the most part, that's because you weren't able to do programming this year. Are there any outstanding expenses that you have from this year that haven't been processed and paid yet?
From this year.
Yeah, current year.
Well, again, I think a lot of it was depending on that 17 grand from Wolfboro, which we ended up using for the fence, for the storage, for Zach making the clear through, for buying stuff.
I'm not focused on what we budgeted, I'm focused on what we spent, okay? So we've spent 32,000 and change this year. That's bills that have been processed and paid. What I'm asking you is if you have any outstanding bills that you know of that are still coming in. So you paid the bill for the container,
Yeah, okay, we'll the five grand almost.
right?
The fence guy, I'm sure isn't paid, we submitted that bill a couple weeks ago, so. I didn't stop at the town, so I don't have normally she gives us a December update, but I don't have that in front of me. Yeah, I don't think so, though, no.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
yep.
Be safe, my friend.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
Hey Dennis, don't let this thing get you down. I know.
Get me down.
Get you down. There is nothing we can do about it.
No, I know.
Okay, so, and it's frustrating, but you gotta keep
No,
your
I
spirits
know,
up.
we'll get back in action.
Yeah.
Think how many things you've been able to do, like fix the fence, painting,
Yeah.
the new ramp is in.
Oh, boy, you kind of in the spring. Things will be back to normal pretty soon. Next year at this time, Dennis will give us a budget that's $20,000.
There.
Yeah, that's right.
Take care.
See you,
See you
Dennis.
later.
We've done the signature file. Next is action items. Anyone need to take a break? Holiday schedules. There's the one for the town offices and the transfer station.
I move we approve the holiday schedules for 2021.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You have anything for us, chief? Come on down.
There's one confirmed that the central fire station improvements is not a duplicate.
Right.
So that $8,439 is missing from
The budget worksheet.
And what that consisted of was seal coating and crack filling of and line striping for $5,144. Boiler furnace replacement, the flue for Central Station for $2,295, and electric lock replacement on the gear room and has that door for $1,000. Leave the copy of this for you. The other item that I have that I would like to go over with, that we have two applicants that have gone through. These young gentlemen have applied to the department. They've gone through all of their background checks, and they have come back fine. One is Patrick Reynolds, and the other is Matthew Fuller. They've both come to about four meetings now, as far as to meet people, and been along well with them, and I would recommend both of them as far as applicants. One is 17, so he would fall under our basically a cadet program, but he turns 18 shortly, and the other is over 18, so there's no restrictions for him. Neither of them have fire experience as far as have been in the, one is in college and one obviously is going to be going to college when he graduates.
So they don't have any bad habits that you have to untrain.
That is correct. Both of them, they have family background of firefighting. So they have relatives that are in the fire service, and that's what has led them to look at that.
Great.
And I will leave their applications for you guys. I apologize that I didn't remember that information that was on my desk. And Kathy, I'll send you an update for email.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything further? As I said, with the seal coating and things like that, that's obviously not as important as the rest of the stuff. And so that would be an item that I would be looking at as far as if we had to cut something out of government buildings, then we do that. And that seal coating is under both the fire station improvements and central fire station improvements, because we were looking at all three sites. Look at that.
So, does that mean that we don't have to change the number in buildings? Or do we-
No, we added it in already. We have to add that line.
And I had told Diane that obviously the $8,439 was missing from the line,
So she's on it.
so she's on it.
Okay,
But it is indeed missing from,
so the real number is 164,725, not 156,386. So we have to add $8,439.
Right.
and the other item, which you can look at, the furnace person said that the Melvin furnace could get away with another year if need be. So if that needs to be pushed off, then you can do so. Because with that particular unit, I am looking at whether we stay with the same unit that is there, or if we go with a different propane unit. Currently it's oil. Just looking for something that might be a little smaller, but still be able to heat the area fine for the future. But we had spec'd out an oil-fired furnace for that. But when I talked to them, and I just in the past couple of weeks had got confirmed. Obviously, the other budgets were already in, but they said that that could get through, and if anything, it might be like $1,000 of repairs that would be needed for the future. So we can do that with our budget as far as it goes. But so again, as far as if we need to make cuts, then that would be something that could last another year. So wanting to work with whatever we have to make sure that the stuff that is more important gets taken care of. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming back.
Thank you, Chief.
Have a safe day.
You too.
The next thing in the things to do file is the tentative schedule for Selectmen's Meeting, January through June, and July through December.
I guess she used to do it ahead of time for you guys and post them for the public on
Have
the
you folks seen
website.
it?
I took a look at it. Yeah, normally,
I'm just checking what you.
we do in 6 months at a time.
Yeah,
So, once we,
just the first one then.
just the first one.
Okay.
And,
I have two booked vacations. One of them is during one of your meetings. I don't know if you want to change it, or we can just have Jane come in. Whatever works for you.
What are your thoughts? Would it give her an opportunity to step up to the plate, or
Yeah,
if we
If the
go
system works.
the week before, it doesn't interfere with your vacation? I'm flexible no matter which way you folks want to go.
Yeah, you have no meeting on the 19th, and the 26th is the one I won't be there for. If you want to switch them to, so that you don't have to ask Jane, or if you want to stay on the regular schedule and we'll just ask Jane.
I'm happy to stay on a regular schedule and having Jane
Yeah.
fill in, taking
See if
minutes.
it works, yeah.
Yeah, right,
Because I'll still have the agenda and all that posted by then.
right.
It's just a matter of her taking the minutes.
I'm good. I'm not going anywhere.
All right.
The next thing, going chronological, is encumbered funds, conservation for the Great Meadow. Did you folks read the paperwork on it? The estimate for the cost of the project is $4,000.
I actually gave them to you for the meeting before this one, but
Right. So all that stuff is gone, I think. Yep.
if you need it, I have it.
So,
This project is required meeting is a face-to-face with two landowners who own land within the Great Meadow project area who have expressed an interest in considering conservation easements. These individuals are at risk for the virus due to their age. We felt the responsible thing to do was to postpone this activity until it was safe for everyone to meet. Have you folks read the paperwork?
yes,
And we're just looking to encumber some of the money they've got for that
yeah,
transaction.
$4,000.
Yes. It's $4,000 from 4612-08-330. Acquisition and monitoring.
Is that a motion? That was like a motion.
Yep.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 And
Motion
now-
passes 3-0.
And it's, what's the total amount?
4,000
Okay,
for acquisition and monitoring.
yep,
And the estimate is from Ecosystems Management and Consultants, Rick Vanderpool.
right.
Continuing on that theme, memo from Jennifer Coulter. She would request that $500 be encumbered for a replacement printer for the Lexmark laser printer the state provided and has maintained. That ended in 2019. The printer must be a laser printer with 2 trays and other special requirements. We'll probably need to replace both printers in the near future. This is encumbered.
We need to, I mean, she's over on a bunch of her lines, one of which is the expense line.
Mhm.
But should we just, I'll make a motion that we encumber $500 from budget.
Second.
I'm sorry,
Second.
4140.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Are you saying 500 or 5,000?
It says I would request that 500 be encumbered for replacement. Is that a typo?
I'm assuming it's right. I didn't type it.
She doesn't have 5,000, so 500 is what
Okay.
she said.
Yep.
This also talks about that she submitted a list of election expenses for the CTCL grant. Okay. The next memo is Chief Shugori and his 2020 orders. Oh, excuse me, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. The next is the memo from Chief Shugori. Have we already discussed his department?
You already encumbered funds for him.
Next is the contract for planning board and municipal resources, 1,500 to be encumbered for the 20,000 project of the master
She
plan.
does, let me address it.
Go ahead.
Okay, and I think we talked about this before. The planning board is engaging a different outside contractor to do the master plan. And the amount is $15,800. So Leanne's memo doesn't really address the total issue. I'm suggesting that we encumber the full amount to do that work.
Yes,
So,
this is the paperwork right here.
yeah, right,
Okay.
right.
So
How much is the
we're just gonna figure out where it's come from, because there's only $8,800 left in the planning
Right.
zone.
Yep, there's 24,000 left in Parks and Rec, and,
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
Yes.
we don't have it. I'm just-
right, right.
We have to tell Diane where she's taking it out of or what we're hitting,
Uh,
or we can hit the whole budget at least.
Right. So,
Oh, the whole budget amount is 15,800, you said, right?
right,
That's what you want to encumber?
and so I move that we encumber 15,800 for the master plan.
And the company is MRI.
Yeah, municipal resources.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? And I have the contract here to be signed. Do we want to sign it today?
No, that's not to be signed, that's just a
Right,
copy that
okay.
she gave us.
It's gonna be, yeah,
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
That's new.
Quick break.
My son got the vaccine.
Good.
So far, no side effects, he's had it for about a week.
Like any other vaccine,
It'll
and I
depend on
think
the
people have been
person.
talking about it, most people are gonna have a little reaction to it, which shows that it's working.
Mhm,
Some people are gonna have a severe reaction,
mhm.
a very small percentage. But, yeah, the idea that,
He was glad he got it.
that somebody in that realm wouldn't want to get it is a little strange to me.
Yeah.
And,
He was thrilled, he goes for a second one, he has to have two.
yeah, right.
I didn't think, he didn't think they would give it to him because he had the COVID, but they are giving it to him.
Yeah, I remember reading something that said, even if you had it, they want you to get the vaccine. Yeah, my daughter-in-law is in line to get it. She doesn't know when, but,
Right.
you know,
He was
she works
surprised
in
because
the,
they
she
called
works
him
in the
in and said,
healthcare area,
Yeah.
so,
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I had some things on encumbering money and budget items. Is now the time to discuss it, or do I bring them up under Selectmen's update?
I'm happy to work on it while we're looking at it.
Okay, the first thing is perambulation. Do we need to encumber any funds, or did we put them in the budget? That's a project that's going to be done next year, right?
no, we already hired someone, I don't know if Diane actually knew that.
So, all right, so the line with Molten Borough has been perambulated.
Mhm.
The other two we got no response.
Well, we did,
We
Chip,
wanna talk about it next year.
they're gonna walk it next year,
What?
right? Isn't that what you said?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Do we need to budget any money for costs?
I guess it is.
On the other lines, we haven't talked about having a professional done. So in Moultonborough, we had to allocate funds because we were hiring somebody to do GPS points and all that
Yep.
sort of thing. That discussion hasn't happened with Wolfboro or Ossip.
They don't wanna hire
They
somebody.
don't want to hire anybody, so it's just a matter of buying grandpa a new pair of boots and throwing them out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna,
I don't think there's any need for them.
the other thing is, on the correspondence, I know there's some things about docks and bridges.
Right.
Okay, I asked the road agent, what does he anticipate for damage by the ice storms in the spring to the two docks? And he estimated that he would budget $2,000 on the docks and bridges for ice damage repair.
We don't have that budget yet.
Yeah,
We don't have that budget yet, but I made a note so when you do bring it up to talk about
okay.
it. Okay? The next thing is, I asked Dennis what the porta potties cost down at the beach. This is my thought. If a crosswalk goes in at Pier 19, there's two things. Does it make sense for the town to step up and to put a porta potty there?
No.
There used to be one.
I don't think.
Yeah, right, and it's the historic had one for people that were using it, so, which seems fine.
The other thing,
That's their
the-
It's their problem. Right. I mean, if we wanted to put one on the pier, I guess we could do that, but I'm not certain that's, and we have them at the beach, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's just asking the store.
The other thing is,
The
if that,
store if they're serving food in that
if
restaurant.
that project goes through, are there some costs where the town has to sign off with the state to legally maintain the crosswalk?
It's a state highway, they maintain it.
What I remember from when we explored it before is that if the town wants a crosswalk, for the state to do it, the town agrees to pay the maintenance on the
We're
crosswalk.
going to maintain it, we're going to pay for the crosswalk, and the state doesn't really even say about it. They say yes or no. I mean, if it's brand new next year, I don't know that we're going to need any maintenance funds.
Right. So,
Hopefully it'll last more than a year before we have to restart it.
and
Do you
again, as I
On,
remember.
on these two issues, you understand where I'm coming from, is, let's say people step up and do something for safety for the town, does it make sense for us to have a token amount in there to,
We deal with it when it comes up.
Okay.
It was
And
my,
it isn't done yet,
right.
so the whole thing could crash and burn for all we know.
Yep.
2021.
now the other thing is, last year you guys, we put $1,000 in to have private contractors trim brush in different places. And it has really worked out well. For the few dollars that we paid them, other neighbors picked up and paid part of the tab. Volunteers hauled the brush off. Can we put that back in this year?
Where was it that was?
I looked for it and I didn't see it. Remember? Now what I can do is I can ask Diane where it is specifically and put it back in there. Or maybe it's included. I can't find
Well,
it.
if it's $1,000 and it was in this year's budget and it's been spent, then it should be reflected in what we're looking at in terms of history.
Under those bills that were listed, I could not find it.
Is it under other property maintenance and improvements?
Could be.
Because that's $3,400. In general government buildings.
I looked at the ledger, and I went through every single page and I couldn't find that entry.
I mean, like,
Who was the person that did it?
Zach Tufts,
who?
Zachary Tufts. It's not on the legend.
So did they get paid?
Yes?
And we don't know where it came from?
Yeah, I remember signing the check,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that's just a question for Diane, where did it go?
Certainly was a good deal. For example, on Lake Street, the
But I
neighbor,
don't know, yeah, and I appreciate what you're saying. I'm sure that the line item didn't change on that other property maintenance line of government buildings, but I also know that at some point today, we're gonna have to decide whether to jack government buildings up by $40,000. And I don't think another $1,000 is gonna help that discussion at all.
No. And I have some thoughts on some of that while we're talking about encumbering, right?
Right.
We have a pretty pricey item for repair of the cupola.
Right.
We have money that we can encumber to do that. That takes $17,500 right off the bottom line of the other government buildings for next year. And I know we're encumbering some money for window work already.
So, yeah, I just wonder if the other
So you know, we've got 31,000 and change left in government buildings.
right, and we're not doing, we haven't got anything other, or the heat to handle all of that, but we're really talking about one month. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. Do you have any
That's not
exact
an idea.
number on that?
that's what I did.
17.5 was what was on that quote. I believe. I only have the first page in my packet, but when I look at the detail all out here,
Here, and I might be clear.
so I got the number of
So. Did we get
yeah, yours only has the first page of
the Jeff Waller, is that the?
Doug Madden. Doug Madden is the cupola.
Doug Madden, really?
Yep.
Huh. Well, we've got the Jeff Waller.
You brought it in, so it was, and Diane's got listed the detail on the budget worksheet, 17.5.
Right.
So I'll move that we encumber $17,500 from the 2020 budget to do the cupola repair.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
And
I have two other issues I'd like to bring up if I could,
while we're at,
about encumbering money.
while we're at replacing windows, should we look, I've got this Jeff Waller
Yep.
bid in front of me for the town office. It looks like $4,671. Let me see these other ones. Oh, I see, no, it's options, jeez. Done that one. So are we, so we've got the cupola done. Are we gonna do anything else on the buildings line? And we've got Wentworth here
That's townhouse sheet.
Okay.
We got 7250 and for
This building.
this building, right?
okay.
Do you want to talk about this building, Bill? It's the Wentworth Group to
I'm fine with
the
it.
painting restoration project for $7,250.
I'm fine with it.
And you don't wanna,
You thinking about encumbering money to do
well,
that?
I'm just throwing it out there because we're in the business
Yeah.
and coming,
Well,
we got that and we got the mat and.
you know, one thing that's not clear to me is how much of the window project from this year got done.
Yeah.
So, she says encumber 8657 for windows. So,
And that's from the Piper House, correct?
for the town offices,
Yes.
yeah. But I know, a number of those have already been done. Jack is out today, is that right?
No, you want me to try to call him?
Yeah, if you get through the buildings budget, it would be nice. I mean, if we take this 17,500 off, what would?
That helps, doesn't it?
We're down to 147,225.
Yep.
If we had another $8,000, I think that would be helpful.
Yep.
Okay, so that's done.
Hi, Jack, it's Kathy. Hang on a minute so I can speak with you. Okay, you want to speak first?
Sure.
Yep.
You there?
Go ahead.
So Jack, where do we stand with the window project from this year? I know some of them were done. We got a note here about encumbering some money, but I'm a little confused as to if that's current or if.
Well, yeah, one of them Diane's, I mean, obviously there's three that are not included at the other side of the police station.
Right.
So
So,
we're gonna price on those, it's like $1,800 and something for those. And then encovering other money to finish the rest of it. That was gonna do it, just didn't get to it.
okay. So the number she gave us here is the outstanding balance from the guy that was working on it this year.
Correct.
Okay. So you,
She should have a number there, how much we need to encumber.
yep. All right.
She has the police.
So,
Isn't it where she says, encumber 2020, that's what you originally encumbered? Is that-
so no, that's what needs to be encumbered, I guess, for,
You know, what needs to be encumbered.
right, in addition to the cupola. So,
So we need to encumber 12,431.
well,
I've got 7,250 for the Wentworth group, was
That's
That's
the-
for painting of the town house.
All right,
That's a new
all right.
thing for next year. Yep.
All right, so I'm having, we just encumbered money to do the cupola with, so that we don't have to go through the budget process on that.
Okay, yeah, that one was 17.5, right?
Yep. So you said 12,000 and something? I'm-
12,431 plus the extra 1875 for the police sirens.
All right,
That's
18,
over and above the original.
all right. So, and I don't, I'm not finding the 12,000 number. What she's got on here is 8657. Is that the balance of the 12,000?
Okay, that's right, yeah, 'cause we already did the selectmen's office, I was just counting them all, so.
so it's
So we already
80,
did the selectmen's office at 30 to 18, so
so it's
that's fine.
8657 plus 1875.
Let me just, yeah, the total was 12. So 8513 plus 1875.
Okay. So 10,388.
Correct, because all of it goes on the first floor, including those 300 police
Okay, I'll make a motion that we encumber 10,388 for the balance of the work on the town office.
And I'll
You have
second,
the number there,
and I'll,
Spring Grove Fund as well, correct?
yep, so I'll second that, but the number that she has here is actually 10,532. So,
I don't mind doing 10,532, I'll amend my motion.
all right, and I'll amend my second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And motion passes 3-0. That's the same contractor that did the current ones, right?
Yep.
The next question is Wentworth Group, 7250 for,
Okay, are you done with Jack?
yes.
Yeah,
Yep, thanks,
Thank you,
Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay?
okay, the Wentworth Group piece,
That's painting the townhouse.
right. Isn't that already known?
That's in the budget request for next year.
Right.
Yep.
So you want to leave it in the budget?
Well, currently, if we don't do anything in addition, where we stand right now is 136,693 in government buildings versus 128,822.
Do you have a problem encumbering? That lowers the operating budget?
Well, I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want to uncover that $7,000, then you're going to be down to 128 again. So it'll be a flat budget.
What are your thoughts, Bill?
I think it makes sense to encumber as long as we don't overcommit. So, I mean, as we're going along, I'm kind of mentally, okay, we can take it from here, we take it from here. At a certain point, we got to go back and look at the numbers and make sure that that we're not going beyond,
Yeah, I appreciate, I mean, and I don't know that it's absolutely necessary to encumber that. Because ultimately in October, we're going to have some money left over, we're going to have to do something with it. And in addition to that, we've sort of eliminated most of the warrant articles when we started covering all of them. Police cruiser and,
yeah,
um,
we, so if you want to encumber that, that's fine.
What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
you want to clean that off the table? I don't mind, I'll make a motion. So let's encumber another $7,250 to paint, degrease, repair, and scrape this building within which we sit.
And I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Can I bring up an issue that you mentioned, and I had it on my list to ask you people about? While I was in Laconia this last year, I bumped into a outfit called Lake City Auto. And I saw police cruisers that they were fixing the rust on. And they have a program that, you've heard our chief say that certain cruisers have certain rust spots. And I watched over the course of the summer of how nice a job they did. This is where I'm thinking from, and I've been meaning to bring it up for a period of time. We're trying to build a new police station. And instead of spending $70,000 on a police cruiser, why don't we spend a bunch of money and to have the vehicles that we have, I won't say repaired, but updated. I'll give you an example. A pickup truck, they're very functional. It makes sense for a small department like this to have it. When you need a pickup truck, you need a pickup truck. You send it down there for complete rust repair, and you have it for another 2 or 3 years. And it's going to be a lot less than $70K. I want to start the discussion with you people.
So the proposition would be that we don't buy a police vehicle, we just fix the ones that we have.
Yes.
I think we've already discussed the idea that if we're gonna get the new facility on the warrant in 2021, that we're gonna scrub some other items off so that we don't blow the tax bill.
Yep.
So are you suggesting that we budget additional money, or that we spend money in the budget to get the work done?
I recommend that, I suggest that we encumber $12,000 for rust repair to our fleet vehicles.
Sounds, based upon the conversation that I remember with the chief, that sounds like a lot more than what he was talking about to do the rust repair.
If it doesn't take that much, we don't spend the money.
Well, I guess my question would be, a couple of questions. First of all, is that enough money? If you're gonna eliminate new and you're gonna concentrate on what you have and fixing it up, is $12,000 enough money to carry us through another 2 years? Because it takes him a year to get his police cruiser on the road. I mean, is that enough money? That's a lot. I know there's some money in the current budget that we're proposing or has been voted on for vehicle maintenance, but there isn't that much, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Budget. What else is supposed to be?
one of the challenges that I see with encumbering that is, by rights, it needs to be tied to a specific project. And 12,000 is a guesstimate as to what it would cost to get the work done.
They're gonna number it.
So I don't know that we're in a position to be able to really do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't have an estimate in hand that says this is what it's gonna cost to get this work done.
And we just pulled $18,000 out of the air in unspent money to do the cupola that we have a contract for. So I would foresee that if we didn't get a cruiser and we needed to spend $12,000, we could do the same thing.
We'll find some money that.
We'll find the money. And I think that conversation that we're having about the cruiser has to happen more intensely when we're doing the warrant articles, because we need to make our minds up how we're
Yeah.
gonna play this.
I was bundling the two topics only because we're on a deadline as far as encumbered funds.
Right.
That's why I brought it up.
So, and, if we had a firm number to work with, then I think that would be,
Yeah, I think we played it out though. I don't know that we have any more contracts that we can plug in. And we can plug in Town of Phillips, because he's given us a number, but
yep.
I don't know that we need to.
Okay, next topic. Thank you. Anything under action items?
Should we vote on this buildings budget at some point, or what do we want to do there?
Yeah, well, if my adjustments are right from where we started here, adding a missing budget line for fire station, central fire station improvements, and taking out money from the town office improvements line that we have encumbered, I come up with $145,350.
Really?
Oh, wait a minute.
I think you're
Uh,
$8,000 off.
Yeah, I'm 75, 7250 off, yes, exactly. So, all right, how about 138.1, does that sound?
We're getting there. Okay, did you take the 1875 off as well?
I took the 17.5 and the 18.75 off, the 86.57 that she went unencumbered, she didn't include it in that 19.5, 19.4, and then I took the 72.50. What did you come up with?
I came up with 136,693, but I took 85,13. Oh, she's got 86,50, so that's where we're different right there.
So the 86.57, she didn't put in the new line, that was a note to encumber from this year,
Right.
which we did. I took those other two pieces, the 18.75 and the 17.5,
Right.
and the $7,250. And I came down to 138,100.
Okay. I'm good with that. I'll second that.
So account 4194. The proposed budget for next year is 138. What?
And $100.
Okay. And we budgeted 128,822 this year.
Right.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
So, okay, we left the 7250 in for this building.
In the budget?
Yeah.
No. No, we encumbered that
We
already.
encumbered that.
I
Did
took-
we encumber the 7250 for this building, Kathy? Did we
You
encumber?
did, you
We
did.
yes, we
Okay,
did.
let's just double check on that. 1875. And what was the other number, 17.5?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's
and
5,
7250.
2, Caroline, 10, 16, 6, Caroline. So we've encumbered 26,625. Right?
Uh,
7250.
26,625, correct. In addition to the 8657. That wasn't included in next year's budget. Right. So if you take the 164,725 and you subtract 26,625, it ends up at 138,1.
Okay, add 8439, was that what it was?
8657.
8657, sorry.
Right. So that's
8528.
so that's 35,282 is the total that we encumbered against buildings.
So are you leaving $25 in that line item then, is what you're telling me, for town office improvements? 'Cause she has 19,400 and it comes to 19,375 is what you encumbered. So you're gonna leave that line item open by keeping the 25 in there?
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just wanna make sure I'm right when I go back to it.
Well, that's what we'll,
You probably wanna keep something in there to keep it open.
well, yeah, and it may be that
Okay,
ultimately we want more than that in there, but,
that's
you know, when I,
where I'm concerned.
yeah,
So if you come to a final reconciliation, 138 something,
138, 258? Or what is your number, Bill? I'm sorry.
the number I came up with was 138,100. But as Kathy points out, that leaves $25 in the town office improvements line.
Right.
And,
and what was your motion?
138,1. So,
But
Are you
he's
happy?
modifying it.
You happy with that?
Yeah, I think it's a little, I'm gonna make a motion that we amend your motion
yep,
to be $138,500.
okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go
So
discuss.
that leaves 425 in that line.
Right.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Are you ready to vote? All those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. It passes 3-0. Okay.
So now we got to vote on the base motion, right? The amended motion.
Yeah, and it's 138,500. It's just leaving you with 425 in that line.
So we approve the amendment, now we got to approve the motion, right?
Okay. Is there a
I'll
motion?
second the motion.
Made, seconded, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So 4194 and a grand total of $138,500.
Yep.
They say it's easy.
Now, the next is going to be the permitting of the two projects, right?
Yes. Yep.
I don't,
So, and that's docks and bridges.
Yes.
You don't even have the docks and bridges, but, okay.
well, we've got last year's, but we don't have a created docks and bridges
Right,
for this year.
right. And we have some money,
I have mine that was printed December 21st. I have this.
yeah, and we have some money that's in the budget this year that was already in for permitting, right?
Yes.
2,386, well, no, $1,000 we haven't spent. So are these the only two projects that we're gonna have next year?
And docks and bridges?
Yeah.
Well, we have, I know we have,
You have things that are other places in the budget. For example, 19 Mile Brook.
yeah, but that's not docks and bridges.
But that's not docks and bridges.
Nope. So we have some ramp work to do at Union Wharf. We also have some work that needs to be done beyond the end of the ramp at Lake Road. Gotta put some larger rock down there where it's been power washed out. And we ought to put some money in to docks and bridges to cover that. I have no idea how much, but are we gonna work on the docks and bridges budget today, or is that?
I think that's the only one we have left, isn't it?
Yep.
I
No,
believe it is.
No.
we have another one. Docks and bridges and, here it is. I don't have that in front of me.
So, I mean, in terms of putting stone down at the end of the ramps, are we talking, is $5,000 enough? More than enough? I don't have a good feel for what that is, but I think we need to put some money into to handle that. And then the permitting expense on the two lakefront projects.
37.6. So the gross budget on docks and bridges, if we use Tyler's number, is gonna be somewhere around $37,600. So if we were to go to, well, we're gonna, and that's the engineering and permitting for those two projects. And I think the balance of it needs to be, or part of it needs to be in a warrant article.
Yep.
So you got $6,000 worth of
Permit fees.
permit fees. So,
Does that make sense to make that a warrant article? The engineering, permitting fees and the wetland permit fee, to make it a warrant article and let the people vote on it?
you package the whole thing together.
Yes.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, we need to put something in here for other docks and bridges.
So I'm gonna suggest we put 5,000 in docks and bridges. And there's money to,
Okay,
there's money to
Sure.
do the repair at the end of the ramps. It's not, this is not,
For any type of repair,
yeah,
yes.
right.
Yep.
So,
So 4,000 in docks and bridges and 1,000 in permitting for a total of 5? Or something different than
Docks and bridges, $5,000 for all types of repairs, right?
yeah. And,
And we'll go with a warrant article for the 2 rebuilding projects.
yeah,
that? Okay. So do we want any number on the what, on the permitting expense, 4313? 431322?
well,
Well, the engineering and the permit fee go hand in hand, correct?
Okay.
so,
We're talking about 2 different things here.
right.
So
So,
sales proposing is $5,000 in docks and bridges. Is there an additional number for permitting or you?
if we're gonna run the Union Wharf and the Lake Road jobs as an article, I think it makes sense to put the permitting expense
Those over
with that, rather than saying, oh, well,
But
you know, you
so there's
bifurcated it.
$5,000 for additional work.
Right,
And what do we estimate the permitting cost would be to do that extra work?
oh, no,
But repairs don't need a permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to leave that line blank?
Yep.
hmm?
Okay.
Yeah,
Ready for a motion?
so I move the other highways and streets budget 4313 and a total of $5,000.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, let me get this straight, we're putting 0 in permitting and 5,000 under docks and bridges.
Right.
Okay. And you're not encumbering any of that 2,400.
No. I mean, we don't owe Tyler any additional money. If we do, he sends us a bill, so we just pay it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
There's still some money.
Well, and
left.
and we encumbered money last year that we were hanging on, so, yeah. All right, so I'm guessing that on Thursday morning, we're gonna be doing checks this week, since Friday's a holiday.
Yep.
So, do we wanna go ahead and have a work session scheduled just in case there's any last minute item that needs to be dealt with before the stroke of midnight?
Fine by then.
I'm
I'm
fine with that.
gonna be there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because we're getting on towards
What time?
11:30 right now.
Huh?
What time?
What time, 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
9 o'clock, then.
9 a.m.
Grandpa doesn't have to go to work
I'm
now.
not going to school this week.
Yeah,
I got
Town
Christmas
office.
vacation.
town office. Yes, ma'am. Those
And-
chairs are softer
And
there.
what are we
My
putting
butt
on
gets
the,
tired sitting on these, you know?
what are we putting on the agenda? Anything?
Last minute fiscal items.
Budgets,
Budget?
review of budgets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I'm just trying to refresh my memory. So we voted on the IT person, but did we vote, we didn't vote for the budget that the IT's in, correct? Which is,
Financial administration, is that where it is?
yeah, I don't remember us voting on that. Because,
Well, we put,
So,
because
so
the IT wasn't done yet.
computer maintenance and IT support is a line item. in
Yeah, and it
financial
doesn't look like
administration.
he has,
So that's something we may need to deal with on Thursday morning.
I would bring it up to Diane and make sure she has it up to date.
Yep.
well, she should have a completed projected 2021 budget that you can print out.
Yep.
And that would be awfully. The other item that when we get to warrant articles, I had Andy, or the road agent, sorry, get together a cost on the guardrails that need to be looked at on Sun Road, Greenwood Road, Ledge Hill Road. So that would be a warrant article.
Yep.
It came up to $99,560.
And this is it's a good thought provoker. And so when I looked at this, I thought, okay, $100,000 to replace W-beam guardrails. When we talked about alternatives to that in the past, one of the alternatives is cable system. That you see as opposed to the W-beam, yeah, the two cables, and which apparently generates about half the cost, and I think might be more appropriate for some of the things that we're doing. It certainly doesn't, one of the challenges with the W-beams is the snow keeps pushing on them. And apparently the cable works better with that, snow clearing. So anyway, I think it's something that,
Well, I think I think we can put together a warrant article for guardrails.
yeah,
And, put $100,000 in it, and then we can start talking about. I think there are places where we should have wooden guardrails,
yeah,
just for an aesthetic standpoint.
yeah,
And there's no reason not to have some of each, I guess.
Right.
Depending on which works best.
right. I agree.
And are we having a non-public today, there, Chair?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
if you need it.
I'm not aware that we need one.
I thought we voted on the welfare question last night.
We did.
Did,
Was there any other question that needed answering?
not that I'm aware of.
No. And we've got,
We have items from our lawyer to discuss.
You do?
we do?
Yes. Trees, Durgan Road.
Yeah. I don't know that that's a non-public thing.
No, I don't think it is.
We also have to do correspondence here.
Yeah. Well,
And, also need Jen wants to remind you guys to think
Yeah.
about.
and I'm glad she brought it up. Actually, I had a conversation with the chairman of the school board who doesn't think there's school on that day. So,
And we need to talk to,
On the 9th?
on election day, right. He said, and he was gonna check on it and get back to me, and I haven't heard back from him. He thought that they specifically left school off on
and
election day.
the moderator has to get involved. We can't select the site, he needs to
No,
select.
no,
No.
we select the
Oh,
time
we
and
do.
place. He runs the election, we select the time and place. However, in my view, he's central to the conversation, because he's got to work for
Right.
everybody. And,
Yeah, the voting I don't see as an issue. I think we can do the voting here, actually. We've just got enough control over the
Right.
crowds.
right,
It's the town meeting that's just.
Well, the town meeting, we do have this year for that.
yes,
How many
but,
people can you fit in there?
right. But if we're still social distancing, we have
Right.
an issue. And I think you and I talked about reaching out to municipal associations, see if they're working anything at the legislature to get
Yeah,
a fix, the
I was gonna-
flexibility.
I had to do that, but I was trying to wait for after the holidays, because I don't think many answers. to
Right.
that.
Anyway, so I think that,
Okay.
to me, that's the answer, is the flexibility to move town meeting further down the road, so, but,
Yeah, because I have to resubmit my problem with, if we have town meeting at school and there's 6-foot distancing requirements, we're gonna put about 45 or 50 people in that room. And I don't think that's enough to vote on the police station.
No, I agree with you.
We have correspondence, we have certificates of completion. There's update from Phil Bennett. Have you folks read that? Kathy, could you just check with him? Are there any outstanding issues the selectmen need to make decisions on, so something doesn't slip
With
through the
Phil?
cracks? Yes,
Not at the moment.
okay, or with Cobb Hill, transfer station. Jim Bean gave the information on the truck. The irrevocable trust for the Burks. There was a notification about a dock. I don't know if that's been answered or not. There is a letter dated December 8th. That's here.
That's just information.
Yep, okay.
Right.
Any other correspondence? Any other legal business to come before?
I guess the other legal question, I'd like to make a motion that we have our attorney inform applicants for easements on Cow Island for septic system improvements. Need to survey and monument the area they're encroaching.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do we have anything in this folder you want to go over?
No.
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 Is there anything else?
Well, in this place.
Anything from the public?
No,
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
thank you.